The red dust clung to everything. Mark coughed, his throat scratchy. 38 sols since the evacuation order, and he was still sifting through the wreckage of the Ares 5 mission. 38 sols of dehydrated meals, the silence of a dead comm system, and the crushing weight of being alone. He was supposed to be the first man to spend a year on Mars. Now he was just the first man to be forgotten on Mars. Each day blurred into the next, a monotonous cycle of checking life support systems, scavenging for anything salvageable, and staring out at the desolate landscape. The vast emptiness of Mars was a constant reminder of his isolation. The silence was deafening, broken only by the hiss of the oxygenator and the pounding of his own heart. Mark knew the odds of rescue were astronomical. He was living on borrowed time, clinging to the hope that someone, somewhere, still remembered he was out here. But as the days turned into weeks, the hope dwindled, replaced by a cold, gnawing despair. He was a ghost haunting a dead planet. A flicker of movement on the horizon. A trick of the light, Mark thought, his pulse quickening. He'd been seeing things lately, hallucinations brought on by solitude and dehydrated potatoes. But the flicker persisted, resolving itself into a figure walking towards the habitat. Mark's hand shot to the emergency beacon, a surge of adrenaline jolting him into action. Someone else was here. But who and how? As the figure drew closer, Mark saw it was a woman, tall and slender. She wore a simple, close-fitting garment that seemed to shimmer in the sunlight. Her features were striking, with high cheekbones and large, expressive eyes that shone with an unearthly light. She moved with a grace that seemed impossible in the low gravity, her feet barely disturbing the red dust. Fear warred with astonishment as she stopped a few paces away. "Don't be afraid," she said, her voice a melodious chime that seemed to resonate deep within him. "My name is Lyra." Her words were English, but spoken with an accent he'd never heard before, musical and strangely comforting. Mark lowered the beacon, his mind racing. Her appearance defied explanation. She looked human, yet something about her seemed different. "Who are you?" he rasped, his voice hoarse from disuse. "Where did you come from?" Lyra's arrival shattered the monotony of Mark's solitary existence. She claimed to be from a hidden settlement on the far side of Mars, a community of her people who had lived in secret for centuries. Her explanation, as outlandish as it seemed, was the only logical explanation. No Earth technology could have brought her here. He found himself drawn to her quiet strength and gentle humor. They spent their days exploring the surrounding canyons, sharing stories and learning about each other's worlds. He told her about Earth, its bustling cities and diverse cultures, the blue oceans and verdant forests. In turn, she spoke of her people